Hello there, what's going on you guys? Today I am bringing to you a look at the Star Wars Black Series Dewback and Sand Trooper. We're going to be unboxing this thing and reviewing it, and this was one that I originally wanted to pick up a long time ago. I had kind of taken a break from, but I definitely remember having the old 3 3/4 inch scale Dewback, and this one's obviously going to be a whole lot bigger than that, so I'm very excited. Take a look at this. We're getting a gray pauldroned Sand Trooper in here too, which is different than the other pauldron colors we've gotten already. So let's just take a look at the box. We have our Sand Trooper and Dewback art right there. We've got our Sand Trooper on the side, and then of course in the back here, this is going to be number 04. And we've got, if you want to read any of that, go ahead and you can pause the video right now. And there we go. All right, let's pull this thing out. All right, here it is, folks. He's assembled. He is sitting on top of this Dewback and looks pretty good. I'm really impressed with my initial out-of-box reaction. Like, the Dewback looks really good. The size is really nice. The Stormtrooper is the standard Stormtrooper model for the most part, so ultimately seems like a really solid figure. He does also come with this longer DLT blaster rifle if you want to have him on the ground. But since if he's riding, he's probably going to have a hand on the reins and a hand on his pike here, so he'll probably need that. Let's take a closer look at the Dewback, and then we'll also take a closer look at the Stormtrooper himself. So taking a look at the Dewback himself, he's got a really nice scaly pattern to his skin. One thing that's a little strange is that there's this different scaly pattern at the top, and it looks almost like it's like fur to go in addition to the scales, but it's exactly the same color. Now, I'm not a Dewback expert. I'm not sure if they do have a limited amount of fur, but this is certainly sculpted to look like fur, and it's not painted any different, so I'm not sure if it was supposed to be or not. There's a little bit of a difference between on the tail. It looks like the tail might have been painted with in a separate print run, so it ended up with a totally different shade of brown on this one. But there is a decent little fade effect as we go down through most of the model. It goes a little bit more into a green on the bottom, and then more of that olive underneath. So as far as the paint is for the most part really good. My only criticisms is nothing on there, and a different darker brown over here. Now, considering that, the eyes look really good. Like, he's clearly thinking something. He's got a little grin on him. We can open the mouth, and then we do have an articulating tongue, which is super, super cool. He's la 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 la. Oh man, there's probably a lot of jokes that could be made right here. He can go really wide too. Wow, yeah, he can go really, really wide. La la la, come to Papa. Okay, but yeah, but he's even got his individual teeth are painted, so that's actually a lot of detail, and there's different shades on the tongue too. So the mouth looks extremely good. I just kind of want to leave him with that little grin, like showing his teeth. That's I think how I'm gonna keep him, like just smiling. He's like, yeah. Oh, amazing. Now his saddle and his riding goods there, I don't know what we even call that. Looks really nice though. It's leathered kind of pattern on it, and with our straps and all that's kind of etched and painted nicely. We got some silvering on the buckles, so that's good. And then we've got our saddlebags there. Now this, and then we've got our sleeping mat and our shelter information. Now this part does come off. And I think that's just for storage or for shipping, rather. I don't think it's really any reason that you'd want to take it off. I think it's just so it would fit in the box a little better. But there's also this little hole over here, and I had thought maybe you would stick the backpack on there for like an alternate configuration, but I don't think that hole is actually for anything. I think it's meant to just be covered up like so, and there we go. Now, as far as articulation, this is not bad. It's got some things that could be better, some things that could be worse. The tail is one of those things that's not all that great, but it has a little bit of up and down, has a little bit of wiggle room to it, but it doesn't really move very much, and it would be really nice if you could kind of have it kind of go around a little bit and do a little more with it, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, but not that much. Now the head also has a little bit of movement, but not, again, not too much. You know, it goes like side to side a little bit, and only a little bit of up and down. Right. Now the mouth is, we've already talked about the mouth. The mouth has great posability. We can do all kinds of stuff there. We can just have him out like that. We can move the tongue all around. The mouth is great. The legs are really the high point here, though. The legs move at the shoulder and at the elbow joint, as well as the ankle. Then they have ankle pivot, which is really surprising. But then he's also got articulating thumbnails and fingers. Now, the front three fingers, or toes, I guess they're toes technically, are all moving on the same hinge. But that's really an awful lot of articulation. So you could almost manufacture him to hold like a staff or some type of weapon. And he could be operating, he could be typing. Yes, I like to type. You know, like something like that. I don't know. And similar with the back, we have the back, the hind legs. He could be sitting. The legs do swivel out. I don't know why you'd want them to swing out like that, but if you are desiring to have him maybe be dead or upside down, you have similar articulation with the legs. So this is actually a really nice thing. You can, it's almost too nice. It almost seems like wasted, because I applaud the amount of, you know, articulation that they gave this guy, but at the same time, it's a creature that's probably only ever going to be in like 1 or 2 poses. It's not something that needs that much articulation. It's a little strange, you know. But hey, you know, I'm not bad. I'm not upset for having more options. It's just, if they were going to do that much work on the feet, it would have been nice to see that a similar level of effort go into the tail as well. Let's take a look at the trooper, the sand trooper. All right, here's our sand trooper, and I just gave him his blaster in hand, and basically he is going to be just about the same as your typical stormtroopers. He is definitely dirtier and a little bit different paint job on this guy than on previous sand troopers that we have seen before. Just for quick comparison, here he is next to the sand trooper commander. You can see the paint apps on the chest are very different, and you can see the paint on the head is very different as well. We're having, you know, the paint on the side here is a little different, as well as just the amount of dirt and grime on them is in different patterns, which, especially around the feet, which I don't have a problem with at all, as a matter of fact. I actually like having different patterns, and in the first couple of different releases of Sand Troopers, they all had the same or very, very similar levels of dirt, and so it's nice to see one that's a little bit different. So just looking at them, we've got, we've got some dirt on the ankle, and it's nice is that it actually goes inside that ball joint there, so you don't have like this, oh, we didn't get dirt on the on that part. It's when you moves, all of a sudden you see like a big broken spot where the paint was missed. We do have a little bit of white inside that joint right there. We do have, let's see, good range of motion, good paint on the backpack. Backpack comes off here. There's no dirt behind him, which might be problematic if you are trying to, have him on the ground. He'll look awfully clean from the back side. So that's something to keep in mind. I think maybe that's meant to articulate that he is, or maybe not articulate, but maybe that's meant to drive home the point that he is marching forward on this Dewback, and so the sand is hitting him in the front and not in the back. Or maybe it's just they figured it was going to be hidden mostly by the backpack. Now, as far as articulation goes, this guy has got it all. This is going to be a pretty good figure. The pauldron will probably interfere with a little bit, but these are removable. You can pop the head off and take the pauldron off if you would like. I'm probably not going to do that right now because they're not the easiest to get off, but I have done it before. All right, we do have double jointed elbows, which is very nice. The armor is going to get in the way here a little bit, but we can get an awful lot of motion there, which goes beyond 90 degrees, which is nice. Or if I want to do it that way a little bit more, I can get about that far. That's about as far up as I can get. I can have him. Now here you'll have a little bit of a problem trying to get him up that high because of the shoulder. The shoulders do go front, back, side to side a little bit. The armor gets in the way of pulling the shoulders out very much, so that's what kind of makes up for it, is having the double jointed elbows. This armor piece right here will grind if you try to pull it out too far. So, but you do have swivel, so you can still get arms kind of out. You just have to put them forward and then out like so. It's about as much as you can get. You could do a little more if you take the pauldron off, but not a whole lot more. The head is going to go up a decent amount, down a little bit, side to side all the way, and he can even do a little bit of, you know, sideways, like, wait a second, maybe those were the droids I was looking for. All right. We do have the torso joint right there, so we can kind of lean forward. We can go a little bit side to side on that joint as well. All right. Now for our legs, we got our hip. Our legs can go out about that far. They're going to start hitting into the armor, and that's what happens with armored characters a lot of times, is the armor does prevent some of the movement. The legs can go forward that far and not back very far. They can go back about that far. So they don't go back very far, but you can swing them around. You can rotate them here and try to get them back to go a little bit farther, but it doesn't really go that much. We do have double jointed knees, which is nice, and the knees go very, very far back. And of course we have ankle joint and ankle pivot as well, which is always very, very, very nice. So ultimately, I think this figure is actually really nice, especially considering that it's a 2-pack. You're getting 2 for 1. However, it's a little bit pricey, but I happen to get mine on clearance and on sale, so I didn't think it was such a bad value getting it on sale. But I don't know if I would want to spend like $60 or so on it. It kind of depends on what you're going for. If you have a lot of desert stuff and you're looking to complete maybe like a scene or a diorama or something like that, I think it makes an excellent choice. I like that they've been doing some bigger Black Series figures, especially for a lot of us collectors with a lot of shelf space and want to fill it up and populate and really make a scene stand out. I think it's great for that. But if you are not like a completionist and you don't necessarily need to have everything, I don't think it's absolutely crucial. So that's my take on it. If you guys agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know if you have this figure already. I am doing a little bit more in the Black Series department lately, but I'm not, stopping coverage of games or other Star Wars and tabletop related hobbies. So let me know what you guys think, and don't forget, if you would like to win a Force FX lightsaber, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I have details for that over on Crabbok.com as well. I am doing that giveaway, and that's plenty of time still to enter that. All right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, have a great day.